it's LCX, because believe it or not, it's been kind of hard lately to get some LCX coverage, but it's all right. So I wanted to share this with you guys. And of course, this is back on March 12th, but it's still valid right now. So if you're like, man, is he going to ever talk about LCX again? Yeah, I am going to talk about LCX. So this comes from LCX Prince. It says, you are afraid of a bank run and want to withdraw your money. Well, a lot of people are afraid of bank runs. It's been making headlines lately, right? So look at this. Transfer it to lcx.com in case of insolvency. Did you ever think about that? I know a lot of you guys have, but that's a good point. So it says the assets must be handled or handed over in favor of the customers. How so? Let's get into this. I think this is as big as it goes. Yeah, it is. So that's all right. So let me see. Let me see if I can make it just a tad bit bigger. Give me just a second. Yeah, I can. I think I could do that. Yep. This is a lot bigger. This makes it nice and easy to read. All right, so look at this, guys. So it says specifically Article 25, safeguarding requirements. Tokens held in a trust or in the name of the customer must be considered to be third-party assets in the event of enforcement, composition, agreement, proceedings, and in the event that the TT service provider becomes bankrupt, and shall be segregated in favor of the customer subject to all claims of the TT service provider against the customer. The tokens must be protected against claims of the TT service provider's other creditors, particularly in the event of bankruptcy, in order to protect the users. Tokens must be stored separately from the TT service provider's assets at all times. And of course, it goes on to this. It says TT keys, which a TT service provider holds or keeps in a safe custody for customer in the TT service provider's own name or in another name, must be considered to be a third-party assets in the event of enforcement. Composition agreement proceedings, and in the event that the TT service provider becomes bankrupt and shall be segregated in favor of the customer, subject to all claims of the TT service provider against the customer, the tokens must be protected against claims of the TT service provider's other creditors, particularly, let me go over to a second, in the event of bankruptcy, in order to protect the users. Now, I'll read a little bit more in regards to this because this is good stuff, right? More part of just not just news, but research. Upon request, did you know during ongoing business operations, a TT service provider must present proof of the FMA showing that he has taken sufficient measures to comply with requirements specified in, for instance, 1, if the evidence is not provided or if the measures are insufficient. The FMA shall request the TT service provider furnish the necessary evidence or take suitable and necessary precautions to remedy the existing defects. This must be carried out in accordance with an appropriate deadline set by the FMA. If the supporting documents are not supported or precautions are not taken at all or within the time frame stipulated by the FMA may take further measures, in particular those set out in Article 43.5. Now, last but not least, in the event of enforcement against his TT service provider, the user has a right to appeal Article 20 of the execution law if the enforcement relates to the tokens secured in accordance with 1 or the TT keys secured in accordance with 2. Under the same requirements, in the event of bankruptcy of the TT service provider, the user has a right to have his tokens segregated from the assets of the TT service provider. And of course, he just, gave a whole big thing there. You might be wondering, well, what the heck? But the whole point is they do have this whole thing where it's safeguarding requirements. And I understand the whole concept that some people feel as though I still want to do it. I still want to go with it, mainly because everything that happened with exchanges. My thing is, I think Liechtenstein's exchange, LCX, is a lot different compared to the norm. And hence why a lot of people feel as though that also could make them leapfrog against the biggest competitor out there, which is Binance. So wanted to bring that to you guys.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have not yet subscribed, do yourself a favor and subscribe for more information on the ISO 222 compliant tokens, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of the new videos when they come up. Max and I cover these ISOs, and we also have a live show every single night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for that. You won't want to miss it. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next video.